Okay, we consider this as the last session together. And as I advise you every time, that tomorrow don't do anything that is hard. Don't implement your brain in hard questions. Start only make a kind of simple revising. And this, it will qualify you, inshallah, that you're going to get the marks. We depend on whatever you did in the last time that you start working hard. Okay, let's start with number five. Write the answer, please, on the chat box for number five. I got the answer from Omar, from Basmala, from Rimas, from Yusuf Swelam, from Aya, from Ali. Okay, so let's find the answer for this one. We have only one that got this one as a mistake. Let's find out. In number five, what is the question? The question asks about which choice best describe the overall structure of the text. And we know how we answer the overall structure. We look at the first sentence, so the first part of each choice. The first sentence, so the first part of each choice. Here he said, in the Here and Now Story Pop, 1921, educator Lucy Sprague Mitchell advanced the then controversial idea that books for very young children should imitate how they use language, since toddlers who cannot yet grasp narrative or abstract idea seek reassurance in verbal repetition and naming. So this kind of educator actually, we're gonna say that she adapt a point of view for the young children that they can't speak. Okay, let's find. The text summarize an argument about how children literature should be evaluated. We didn't talk about any kind of evaluation. The text outlines a debate between two authors of children's literature. We didn't talk about two authors. We have only one educator. The text lists the literary characteristics that are common to many classic of children literature. How many characteristics? It wasn't mentioned. The text present a philosophy about what material is most suitable for children's literature. Yes, he just tell us the material that is suitable for the toddler, for the children. Okay, this is level one. I want to be sure also about my answer. So I'm going to read the rest of the text and find the rest of the answer, suitable or not. Here he said, after the first part, the most enduring example of this idea is Margaret Wise Brown's 1947 picture book, Goodnight Moon. So it made a book, or she made a book with pictures only, in which a young rabbit names the objects in his room as he drifts off to sleep. Scholars note that the book's emphasis on repetition, rhythm, and nonsense rhyme speaks directly to Mitchell influence. Okay, let's find now. And then describe a book influenced by the philosophy. Yes, the examples that she gives or that the text gives. So the answer is D. Clear, Yusuf Suelam?
Yes.
Let's go to number six and also overall structure. The same style. I got the answer from Rimes, from Aya and Yusuf Asakir. from Hannah and Yusuf Suelem. From Basmala and Omar. From Ali. Did he change? Okay. We have also one person that he got this wrong, or she got this wrong. Let's find out in number 6. Again, the overall structure. We read the first sentence and then the first part. Here he said many archaeologists assume that large-scale engineering projects in ancient society required an elite class to plan and direct the necessary labor. Okay, let's look at the first part of each question. It presents contradictory conclusion drawn by archaeologists. Where is the contradictory? It's a kind of assumption. B. It describes a common view among archaeologists. Yes, it's a common view. He said many archaeologists think that, assume that. It outlines a method used in some archaeological field work. Where is some actually that he said? Or where is the method that they use? No, he said only that they must or require elite class. Actually, it can be because he said a method, so they need elite class, so it can be. D. It identifies a gap in scientific research. We didn't talk about any kind of gap. Okay, so now we are between B and C. Let's continue the rest of the text to find which one is going to be B or C that is suitable. However, recent discovery, such as the excavation of an ancient canal near the Gulf Coast of Alabama, have complicated this picture. Which picture? That they need elite class. Using radiocarbon dating, a team of researchers concluded that the 1.39 kilometer long canal was most likely constructed between 576 and 650 CE by an indigenous society that was relatively free of social classes, meaning that they are not actually from the 3 different classes, meaning that they are slaves. So they are not elite class. And they built this canal. So let's find now here. Then discuss a recent finding that challenge that view. Yes, there's a finding that challenge the view that they need elite class. Let's find here. Then explain why an alternative method is superior to it. We didn't talk about an alternative method. So the answer is B. Yusuf Suwailam, what happened in those kind of questions? Yusuf Suwailam, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to number 7. The main purpose, the first sentence and last sentence. I got the answer from Yusuf Asakir. From Aya and Hannah. From Basmala and Rimes. From Omar and Ali. Waiting for Yusuf Suwailam. First sentence, last sentence. And if we miss between more than one answer, you can go to the whole text. Okay, I got the answer from Yusuf Suwailam. We have here 2 people that they got this as a mistake. Your previous answer was right, Omar. Your previous answer was right. Okay, let's find out together. Again, what is the main purpose? The first sentence, last sentence. He said here, composer Florence Price won first place for her score symphony in E minor at the 1932 Wanamaker Foundation Awards. So now he talk about that. There is a composer that he got a first place and score a kind of a prestigious thing in one of the awards or one of the celebration. The last one. In recent years, prizes, the same person, the composer, concertos and symphonies have been performed and recorded by several major orchestra, further preserving her work for others to enjoy. So now other people or other musicians start performing her work just to preserve it, to keep it, to save it. Okay. So describe the musical styles that inspired many Price's symphony. He didn't talk about the musical style actually that inspired her symphonies. To provide example of Price's importance as a composer, yes. Now other musicians start performing her work to preserve her work for others to enjoy. So that means that she is important, or her work, or her works are important. To argue that more major orchestras should perform Price's composition, he didn't say that should more major orchestra perform her, because here he mentioned that several major orchestra actually start performing her work. To compare Price's scores with those of classical European composer, he didn't compare her to others. So the answer is B. Clear, Aya? Aya, clear? Aya, hello, your mic is...
Yes,
Okay. You, Swalem, clear?
yes,
Yes.
Okay. The last question in the homework is going to be the overall structure. First sentence and first part. I got the answer from Basmala, from Yusuf Asakir and Hannah, from Omar and Aya, from Ali. Waiting for Rimas and Yusuf Suwalam. First sentence, first part of the question. Rimas, your answer, Rimas. I got the answer from Rimas. Waiting for
sorry,
you.
Mr. My Wi-Fi.
No problem. Waiting for Yusuf Suwalam. Take care. First part, first sentence, first part. Then you're going to eliminate some. Leave them. Then look at the rest of the text and compare it to the one that you don't eliminate. Waiting for your answer, Yusuf Swinam. Okay. This question, actually, no one got it as a mistake. Let's find out. Again, he asked us about the overall structure of the text. Read the first sentence. Here he said, using NASA's powerful James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, Mercedes Lopez Morales and colleagues measured the wavelength of light traveling through the atmosphere of WASP 39b, an exoplanet or planet outside our solar system. So now we mentioned that the NASA telescope JWST was used to measure the light traveling through one of the exoplanets. Okay, let's find here. It outlined the steps taken in a scientific study. I know that he didn't mention steps. He mentioned only one step, but maybe. It discusses a method used by some researcher. Yes, they use a telescope, so it can be. It examined how a group of scientists reach a conclusion. No conclusion here. No conclusion. They only measure the wavelength of light traveling through the atmosphere of an exoplanet. So this, I'm going to cancel it. It described how researchers made a scientific discovery. Yes. Yes. To measure the wavelength, this scientific discovery. Actually, for the steps, I'm not sure of it because he mentioned only one step. So I'm going to cancel it. So now we are between B and D. Let's read the rest of the text. Different molecules absorb different wavelengths of light, and the wavelength measurements show the presence of carbon dioxide, CO2, in WASP 39b's atmosphere, the exoplanet. This finding not only offers the first decisive evidence of CO2 in the atmosphere of an exoplanet, but also illustrates the potential for future scientific breakthrough held by the JWST, the telescope. So let's find here now. Then states why an alternative method is superior to it. He didn't talk about the superior method. Then explain the importance of that discovery. Yes, because they discovered CO2 that actually will open a kind of breakthrough that held by this kind of telescope. So the answer is D. Okay. As I told you, today is going to be the last test, a new one with 27 questions in 32 minutes. The same thing that we are doing every time that you're going to open your camera. But before going to the test, let me send something on the group. Let me close this actually first.